Way to go. Keep it going. Good job, guys. All right, Paul, I see you. All right, fellas. Finish on. Coach Cole.
Great job, guys.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here from Today's Leader, the Coach Curl podcast. Welcome to Leadership Lessons from Life.
The Coach Curl podcast is brought to you by Think and Grow Business, the home of the Think and Grow Business Mastermind. If you're serious about growing your business, get serious and join a mastermind group today. Find out more at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here, and welcome to Leadership Lessons, your hump day leadership boost. Now, we often hear about risk. Now, there's a couple of different variations that you may hear when people talk about risk, whether it's risk in your business, risk in your career, taking a risk to go up the chain, to invest some money. And often we'll hear you need to have a strategic outlook around risk. We also hear concepts around risk and reward. We say that we can't succeed unless we're prepared to risk, unless we're willing to risk. And some will tell you you've got to be prepared to risk everything, while others will share with you the concept of calculated risk. So there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of communication happening around risk. And depending on the circumstances, the techniques are valid and relevant. But what often doesn't get spoken about is our actual comfort zone and the impact that our own comfort zone plays when we are sizing up risk. Our comfort zone determines our appetite for risk. Now, if we're too focused on maintaining the status quo, being surrounded by that warmness that is routine, that is the norm, that is the everyday, if we're really ensconced in that, our appetite for risk is going to be completely diminished. The size and strength of our comfort zone determines the appetite for risk and determines our capacity for risk. So, how can you challenge and stretch your comfort zone to ensure that you actually have the capacity for risk? Now, when I talk about risk, I'm not saying dumb risk, What I'm talking about is the analysis around what risk is, or what we consider to be risky. So, how do we challenge and stretch our comfort zone to ensure that we actually have the capacity to go through and analyze risk? First let's look at experience. So people will tell you experience is a really big factor in the development and the cushioning that you surround yourself with your comfort zone. And it's absolutely true. Your experience may either help you or it's going to hurt you. Now, evaluated experience is what works best, is what we talk about. Experience with insight. So we have an experience, we reflect on it, we have an insight around that, and we take the lessons and we grow. So that's what we call evaluated experience, where we actually think back on our experience and we grow. So when you think about it, 30 years of experience, for example, might be 30 years of growth, or at worst it could be 1 year repeated 30 times. This is what we're talking about when we talk about experience. So the experience can either hurt you or it may hinder you, depending on whether we actually have evaluated experience or whether we've just got the experience and just keep repeating the same stuff time and time again. Evaluated experience, the capacity for reflection on our experience, is critical. And from there, we get growth. Now, the number one thing stopping any sort of risk is fear. And let's be honest about that. This is a real thing. We're seeing that right around the world at the moment with the coronavirus crisis still continuing on. And at this stage, it's a pretty simple thing to say the virus is winning, right? No matter where you are in the world, it's hard to see anyone that he's actually beating the virus. The virus is actually winning. So this encapsulates the fear. People are rightfully have fear. Now, fear is real. We know that. Fear is real. It's an emotion, it's a feeling, and it's part of the many reasons why people stop doing what it is they potentially could be doing it. Now, the reality is with risk, we wouldn't call it a risk if there wasn't a potential consequence of a particular course of action, right? So there's a risk in it. There's a risk involved, and we get fearful of that. So let's look at how we can conquer or how we can manage some fear. So first up, let's understand our own mindset when it comes to fear. Now, if I was to just say you wanted to start a business, and you came to me and said, Tony, I want to work with you to start my business. Now, in that initial session, just say I shared a statistic, maybe a statistic that looked like, did you know that 80% of businesses fail? So what do you take on board from that particular statistic? Do you suddenly get overwhelmed with the fear of failure because 80% of businesses fail? Or do you think about the opportunity that the 20% will provide, the 20% that will succeed? So how do you look at that? So when we look at risk, we need to look at analysing risk, and we need to have some level of objectivity and some level of understanding. So understanding ourselves, so where's my mindset? Am I looking at the 80% and is fear holding me back, or am I looking at that 20% and believing, having a belief in myself that I'm going to be part of that 20%? What we see commonly in successful people is three things. They understand exactly what it is that they're risking. So they may be looking at the 20%. They may have the odds in their favour in their eyes, but they understand exactly what the risk is. They're looking, number two, they look at what their favourable return is and exactly what that return is. So they know that 20% is 20%. They've got a 20% chance, and because they're invested in it, they believe that 20% will actually come true for them. They'll be part of that 20%. But third, and this is probably the most important thing, what they do is they understand that maybe if it goes wrong, they're going to need a plan B. They're going to need to have something that sets themselves apart. So people may understand exactly what they're risking. They might have $100 down on a 20% long shot, say, or a 20% opportunity. They put $100 down. They know they're risking $100. They know that. They know it's a 20% success rate. They know that. They're aware of the favourable return. But what sets the successful apart is that they look for that contingency. They look for the plan B. They know and understand exactly what it is that they're going to do if it does go wrong. So how do they deal with the consequences, and how do they come out of it well? So that's how we work through fear. We look at that from the aspect of looking for what exactly are we risking, what exactly is the return that we're going to get, and what if it goes wrong? What is my plan B or plan C or plan D? And that's how we start working through to overcome risk. And here's the thing. And this stands you instead right throughout life. Here's the thing. Know what you are prepared to pay, the price that you are prepared to pay. Be understanding of that price that you are prepared to pay. Because what that does, it provides skin in the game. It provides an investment from you and a commitment from you. And when you have skin in the game, and you've got the subsequent risk or the consequences or the subsequent reward, you tend to have a much greater capacity to make it happen. than if you don't have skin in the game. And that's why so many free things don't work. People don't have skin in the game. You may want to go get some advice, for example, and you may chase down a free workshop, but it's exactly that. It's a free workshop. You've got no skin in that game. If you're paying someone, a highly prized person, just imagine you were able to score Mark Boris, for example, from a business perspective for an hour. You'd imagine what that investment would be from your perspective. You've got skin in that game. You have invested in that particular process, and you are then going to be committed in the advice that he provides you. So think about that. That's the thing. Whenever we're looking at evaluating risk, be prepared to understand exactly what it is that you are prepared to invest. If you are not prepared to invest, you will never take on the risk and therefore never realize the opportunity. Opportunity, risk, what are you prepared to do? Get out of your comfort zone, evaluate your experience, create insight, and that is the way that you can diminish the size of your comfort zone, stretch outside it, and take the opportunities that are being presented to you. I hope you've enjoyed leadership lessons today. Don't forget, we've got another, before I go, today's leader drops again on Friday, and we've got a fantastic interview with Clint Paget. Now, Clint runs Project Success over there in the United States. He's a published author. He's a Forbes bestseller. An amazing guy. So if you've got work or know anyone in project management, or you want to just build your team better, make sure you're listening in early on Friday when we drop the next episode of the Today's Leader podcast. We've got Clint Paget from Forbes. I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for listening to our Leadership Lessons from Life session today. I hope it will provide impact in your leadership journey. Check out Think and Grow Business for all of your leadership development needs. If you want individual or team coaching, build better leadership behaviors in your organization, develop high-performing teams, the range of programs available at Think and Grow Business will certainly help you. Book your free 30-minute discovery call at thinkandgrowbusiness.com.au. Wherever you are, remember you are standing stronger, braver, and wiser. Have yourself a most successful week, and remember the golden rule: just don't be an arsehole. I'll see you next time.